Namaste. Welcome to Horizon Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Sandy Steele, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. And I am serving as your worship associate this morning. We're excited to welcome you to worship service this morning. We're so glad to have you with us all today. Whether you're joining us in person or virtually, whether you're here for the first time or whether you've been here for longer than you can remember. Here at Horizon, we welcome people of all faiths and no faith, in particular, whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome among us. As a community, we welcome the sharing of joys, sorrows, and concerns. You're welcome to fill out a joys and sorrows slip on the table near the Welcome Center in the back, in the pockets of the chairs, and on the joys and sorrows table, somewhere up there, in the front of the sanctuary. Or you are welcome to light a candle. This can be done at any time before the service or in the service from the beginning through the offertory. I do have a couple of announcements this morning. One is on Monday, November the 20th at 7 p.m., Horizon will have its first Transgender Day of Remembrance service. This is on behalf of the Radical Welcome Task Force, and this is just a great occasion to remember our transgender siblings worldwide who lost lives to violence or suicide. Unfortunately, we have seen that too much. Another announcement is to please help select a Horizon t-shirt with your vote. We're creating a new Horizon t-shirt, and you have the opportunity to vote on your favorite of 3 designs between now and December 3rd. The t-shirt designs and the voting system is set up on the bulletin board across from the bookstore right over here in the hallway, and your vote counts. So please do that. Appreciate it.
So, happy Divali. So let me make a clarification. I know most people everywhere they see it spelled with a W, D-A-W-A-L-I, but it's one of the idiosyncrasies of the Indian languages, so it is pronounced Divali, like it has a V in it, just for your information. So this is a statue of the Hindu goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth, material wealth, as well as spiritual wealth, including compassion, forgiveness, and loving kindness. Our call to worship today is entitled, Inviting Lakshmi to Our Worship, an Accountable Relationship with Our Hindu UU Members, by Michael J. Tino. The lamps have been lighted, and the shiny garlands hung around our doorways to signal our welcome and invitation to Lakshmi.
The altar has been cleaned, and the minister has put on a new suit, the brass polished and the sweets set out to share.
But this remains a Unitarian Universalist service, not a Hindu temple. Would Lakshmi want to enter this holy place, not of her own tradition?
We offer prayers and chants with respect and honor, not to claim them as our own. Here, we see an abundance of gratitude for those who have shared their culture and rituals with us, and an abundance of inspiration from the stories and practices of Divali.
We light our candles as sacred ritual to honor the lives of those who worship. Here we see an abundance of love to surround those who are struggling, and an abundance of joy freely shared by those whose lives contain it.
We share our offerings. We share the sweet treats of the holiday. We share our gifts and talents in ministry to one another. Here we see an abundance of resources that guide our mission as a religious community, and an abundance of willingness to explore that mission together.
Welcome then, Lakshmi. I see you're already here. The abundance you represent has already made its presence known in our congregation.
Welcome, abundance. Welcome, prosperity. Welcome, love, and welcome, light. Make yourselves at home in our hearts as we sit together in sacred silence. Come, let us worship together. we light the chalice. May the light of love shine brightly in our hearts. May the light of understanding shine in our minds. May the light of harmony glow in our homes. May the light of service shine forth ceaselessly from our hands. And may your presence light the lamps of love wherever you go. Now, please join me in our affirmation, which is printed on the back of your order of service and projected on the screen. Love is the doctrine of our church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in harmony with the earth. Thus do we cover together.
Good morning and namaste. My name is Bhaskar Parakandla. Can you all hear me okay from here? Okay, thank you. My pronouns are he and his. Before we sing the hymnal, opening hymn, I wanted to just give a translation of the hymn itself. I have been asked in the past, because this is a hymn in our hymnal book, what it means that the singers knew what they were singing. The translation is all Hindu prayers are in the form of songs in the praise of God. So this song, Raghupati Raghav, is sung in the praise of Lord Rama, which you will hear later on in the story from Menaka. And he has many names: Raghava, Raja Ram, Raghupati. They're all his names. So you sing a song in the praise of Lord Rama. At the same time, the second stanza of that song says, Ishwar Allah Tere Naam. This song was actually coined by Gandhi himself in an effort at the Hindu-Muslim unity during the British, the struggle for the independence from the British. And in order to unify the people, he coined this song. He said, Ishwar Allah Tere Naam. Allah is a word used by Muslims to refer to God. So he said, you call it Ishwar is the name used by Hindus in Sanskrit for God. And so he said, whether you call God by the name Ishwar or by Allah, it's the same God that everybody worships. And he said, give everybody peace of mind and sanity in this world of insanity for religious intolerance. So that's the meaning of that song, a sense. Now I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 178 in the great hymnal, Raghupati.
Sitaram Jai
Well, now we're going to have our time for all ages. So we would like to invite the children and those young at heart to come forward. And I guess they can sit on the edge of the platform, right down there. Also, Metrocrest is collecting items, especially with an emphasis on diapers and wipes, because the shelves are empty for those things. So next time you guys bring some, remember diapers and wipes. But please hand your goods to one of the children and place them in the basket. Okay, good. That's awesome.
Everybody hear me?
Now you're good.
Today we are celebrating Divali, or the Festival of Lights, which is celebrated by more than 1 billion people around the world. Our story today is called Rama Rescues Sita, and it shows that the message of Divali, that good wins over evil, and that people are celebrating this victory. So long ago, King Dasharatha ruled his kingdom in India. He was a good and just king, and he ruled his kingdom wisely and well. Prince Rama was the eldest of his 4 sons. Rama was handsome, brave, and dutiful, the apple of his father's eye. Rama married a beautiful princess named Sita. Filled with pride and delight in his favorite son, King Dasharatha wanted to make Rama the next king. But Rama's stepmother had other plans. She told the king, "My first wish, you gave me 2 wishes. My first wish is that I want you to make my son the king instead of Rama. The second is to banish Rama to the forest for 14 years. The heartbroken king had no choice but to keep his word, and Rama obeyed his father's wishes. He left his home and set off for the forest with Sita and his younger brother Lakshman. Many years passed. Rama, Sita, and Lakshman lived happily in a cottage in the forest and collected wild fruits and vegetables to eat. One day, Rama and Lakshman were out trying to catch a golden deer, which Sita had spotted among the trees. It was the most beautiful creature she had ever seen, and she wanted it as a pet. While Rama and Lakshman were gone, an old man came to the door. He was dressed as a wandering holy man. "Is anyone here to welcome a poor stranger?" the holy man called. Sita opened the door and welcomed the holy man in. This was the chance he had been waiting for this was no ordinary holy man. It was the terrifying 10-headed demon, Ravana, in disguise. It was he who had sent the golden deer to trick Rama and Lakshman and keep them out of his wicked way. Ravana grabbed Sita by the hand and put her into his chariot. Then he sped through the skies back to his kingdom of Lanka. When Rama and Lakshman returned, they were filled with grief and dismay. For days and days they searched the forest, but Sita was nowhere to be found. In despair, Rama called on Hanuman, the monkey god, and his army of monkeys to help him find his wife Sita. The monkeys searched high and low. They could not find Sita anywhere, until they got some information that Ravana, the 10-headed demon, had carried Sita off to his kingdom of Lanka. Lanka, which today is known as Sri Lanka, was an island far out in the ocean. In order to reach Sita, they would first have to cross the sea. Hanuman, the monkey god, was chosen for this dangerous task. Now, Hanuman was no ordinary monkey. He was the son of the god of the wind. He took a huge running jump and with a single bound leapt over the sea to Lanka. On and on he flew until he reached Ravana's magnificent palace. Then, as quietly as a mouse, he crept inside and found Sita kept prisoner in the palace garden. Sita was overjoyed to see him. She gave him her ring to take back to Rama as proof that Hanuman had seen her. "Please come and rescue me soon," she whispered. "Don't worry, my lady," promised Hanuman. "We will soon come back for you." When Rama and Lakshman heard Hanuman's news, They gathered a huge army of monkeys and bears. They built a great bridge over the sea and marched all the way to Lanka. Meanwhile, in Lanka, Ravana was waiting, for his spies had told him that Rama was coming. Ravana armed all his best generals, demon soldiers, and fierce giants and sent them into battle. All day and night the battle raged. Soon the air was thick with the soldiers' cries and with arrows and spears flung from both sides. By morning, Hanuman wept as he looked over the battlefield and saw so many friends lying injured, but worse was to come. Suddenly he spotted his friends Rama and Lakshman lying among the wounded. Hanuman knew he had to act quickly. Fast as the wind, he flew away to the mountain in the Himalayas to pick some magic healing herbs. But he could not find the right herbs to pick, so he lifted up the whole mountain instead and flew back to the battlefield with that. Soon, not only were Rama and his brothers brought back to health, but all the other soldiers who had fallen in the battle. Now at last it was time for Rama to face Ravana alone. Ravana put on his finest gold armor and strapped a golden helmet on each of his 10 heads. Then he boarded his chariot and with a loud battle cry raced off toward Rama. But Rama was ready for him. Calmly, Rama fit a golden arrow onto his bow, took careful aim, and fired. The arrow struck Ravana in the heart. With a frightful shriek, Ravana toppled out of his chariot, defeated. Among the cheers and rejoicing, Sita came out of the palace to be reunited with Rama, her beloved husband. Then, together with Lakshman and faithful Hanuman, they rode back to their kingdom on a great swan to be crowned king and queen. Everyone was so happy because of Rama's victory over Ravana, and that is why one of the reasons Divali is celebrated. Now let's sing out the children.
Good morning. My name is Amy Porter, and I'm board secretary for Horizon. I'm thankful for this opportunity to share with you what Horizon means to me. I was raised by United Church of Christ parents and attended the Dutch Reformed Church as a child. In college, I started my own journey of Inquisition, and after getting married, I became an Episcopalian and then a Roman Catholic. But after my divorce in 2003, that church didn't feel like home anymore. After my dad died in 2011, I went to First Church UU on a Sunday, which happened to be the Remembrance Ceremony Sunday. I cried the whole time because many of the words that were spoken touched my soul. Unitarian Universalism feels like home to me, reflecting the values I was raised with. But First Church is a really big church, and I struggled to find connections in the community. Then I visited Horizon in 2018. There used to be a slide displayed on Sundays that said something like, "Come join the choir, it's okay if you don't know how to sing." I knew they were speaking directly to me with that statement. So I joined the choir and found a fabulous pathway into our community. At choir, I met Carolyn Moore, who's on a well-deserved vacation, I think, right now. She was our board president. Carolyn introduced me to her sister, Sandy Steele, who asked me to fill a vacancy on the church board as a trustee at large, and I said yes. Then this year I was asked to be board secretary, and I said yes again. It kind of sounds like the children's story. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk. Except in this case, if you volunteer for something at Horizon, you're probably going to be asked to volunteer for something else at Horizon. Yet it seems to me that's how Horizon works. We're a community of people, many of whom volunteer to do a little something or a lot of somethings, and you people know who you are, to build this beloved community that we all want. There's always work and play to do to be that beloved, radically welcoming community so that others can find their pathway into it. Back to what Horizon means to me. Over the last month, I was asked the following questions by people with whom I was talking about Horizon and why I go. And here's how I responded. I don't believe in God. So do I need to believe in God to be part of your community? No, we're a community and people of many faiths and no faith at all. Are gay people welcome? Yes, we are an inclusive community. I'd like to go to church, but I need to understand if you support reproductive justice, because that's really important to me. Yes, you have a long history of strong and active justice ministries, including reproductive justice. My ability to answer these questions highlights what Horizon means to me and how important it is for others in Dallas to know that there's an inclusive, justice-driven community here. Finally, the statement, "What affects one affects us all," has been my worldview for as long as I can remember. How I treat my neighbor impacts my neighbor's experience of this world, and so on. I personally need the sermons, music, messaging, and love I receive at Horizon to remind me of that and help me on my daily walk on this earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Our offering words come from Michael Hall. As we approach the time for our offering, give what you will for the church that has meant so much to you, for the church that meant so much to those who came before you, and for the church that will mean so much to people you will never know. Give what you will, for you are a generous people. Thank you to our members and friends who pledge and give electronically. If you would like to give electronically, you may do so on the Breeze app or online at horizon.org/give. The offering will now be joyfully given and received.
Just a quick reflection on why I really wanted to be the worship associate today on the day of Divali. I've actually had a connection to India for a long time. This kurta that I wear today was given to me by a good friend that I worked with in my corporation probably 15 years ago, and yes, I can still fit into it. I'm so excited. So I'm really happy to be able to wear it today. But also, I got to visit India back in February of 2013. I was visiting my daughter, their junior semester of college was going on in Hyderabad, India. I got to fly into Bangalore, which was beautiful, visit Mumbai, where my conference was, and saw how busy it was, and yet the amount of poverty, sheer poverty that I saw there as well. And ended up in Hyderabad, which is like a big tech mecca There's a lot of technology there. Our company had an office there, and that's where my daughter was fortunately staying. So I took a little extended time to visit with them. They stayed with Bhavani, the college professor, and her daughter, Tanvi. My daughter wrote poems about this family, and India changed their life. They are forever changed because of their experience in India. And I have to say, I'm forever changed because of my experience in India as well. I loved it. It wasn't the time of Divali, but I learned about India's culture when I was there even more, and the holidays, and I love a number of their holidays. But Diwali is especially meaningful because it's really when light triumphs over darkness, good over evil. And it's such a beautiful holiday. The lights just speak to me, and they stay on through Christmas. So, and in fact, later, I had numerous friends that were from India, that executives and coworkers, and around Divali, we would send pictures. They would send pictures around to all of us, and we would do like a text message circle that said Happy Divali, and it always made me feel happy. So I'm really excited to see us celebrate this day here a little more triumphantly, I guess you would say. So thank you all for being here. Now we're going to take some time to honor the sorrows and joys of this community, knowing that we are all interconnected and that what affects one truly affects all. There is a sorrow for the firebombing of the Huyen Trang Buddhist Meditation Center in New Caney, Texas. We lift them up in love as what affects one affects us all. I also just want to say, before I do the happy ones, is that I know everyone's hearts are not just with Ukraine now, but also with Gaza and Israel, and that really horribly difficult war going on there. Now to more positive thoughts, because it is Divali. Daniel Crane is just really happy knowing the joy of knowing so many veterans whose day we celebrate this weekend. So yes, absolutely. Amy wants to just thank all of her people here, thankful for the work to work with folks for whom spirituality is a priority. That's with her coworkers. And then Beth and Alan are celebrating their 32nd anniversary. Happy anniversary. Do you light the candle? Okay. We light a candle this morning to honor all the joys and sorrows which have gone unspoken and reside only in our hearts.
Please join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation. For the prayer, I'm going to recite two mantras from the ancient Indian traditions. The first one is called the Gayatri mantra, and I'll chant it out first and then give you the meaning of this one. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yoda Prachodayat. It says, Om, earth, sky, and heaven, we meditate on the brilliant light of the sun. May it illuminate our minds. And the second chant, you will also hear it played during the meditation time as a song. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It's the prayer that says, Dear God, let us, from the unreal or the world of illusion, lead me to the world of reality. From the darkness or ignorance, lead me to the light or the bright side or knowledge. And from death or mortality to immortality. Now, immortality carries many connotations. It's not simply being physically alive. The immortality refers to the Hindu concept of repeated birth, life, and death and rebirth. And this prayer prays to God, asking Him to end the endless cycle of birth and rebirth. So the one who ends his life of repeated births is considered to have attained salvation, or called moksha. Let us begin the meditation.
Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Please stay seated for our responsive hymn, number 184 in the gray hymnal. Be ye lamps unto ourselves.
Our reading today comes from the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk, and it's entitled The 9 Prayers and the Practice of Loving Kindness. The 9 Prayers. May I be peaceful, happy, and light in body and spirit. May I be free from injury. May I live in safety. May I be free from disturbance, fear, and anxiety. May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and of love. May I be able to recognize and touch the seeds of joy and happiness in myself. May I learn to identify and see the sources of anger, craving, and delusion in myself. May I know how to nourish the seeds of joy in myself every day. May I be able to live fresh, solid, and free. May I be free from attachment and aversion, but not indifferent. After practicing taking ourselves as the object of love, we change the word I into he or she. We can do that only when we have some understanding, peace, and solidity within ourselves. Self-love is the foundation for the love of others. We begin with love for someone we have sympathy for, then someone we are fond of, and then for someone who has made us suffer. The children in Somalia, the victims of war in the former Yugoslavia, the children in my mother's native village may be considered first as neutral, people we really don't know. But if we touch them deeply, looking into them, they are no longer neutral to us. We see that they are ourselves, and suddenly compassion and loving kindness are born in us. They become true objects of our love. Finally, we come to the person we consider our enemy, the person who made us suffer. With the practice of deep looking and deep understanding, that person can also become the object of our love. Here ends the reading.
The strength of the dharmic culture, the Indian tradition is also known as dharmic culture. It is the multitude of ways in which the Puranic or the ancient traditional stories and epics are brought to life through colorful festivals and selfless service, which in Sanskrit and Indian languages is called seva. These stories and epics bring to surface the deep philosophical truths of the ancient Hindu scriptures, known as the Vedas. The festivals often express the common Vedic tenets of Hinduism and of the other dharmic cultures. Besides Hinduism, there are other faiths in India, making them accessible to people from all walks of life. Festivals form a lifeline that binds the Hindu and the dharmic cultures to family, to the community, and to the country where they reside. Festivals connect and bring people together in camaraderie and service. Hindu festivals also reflect and sustain the underlying pluralistic values for diverse people to coexist harmoniously. And that's something that the Indians are generally well known for. Hinduism is a contemporary word used for the monotheistic Sanatana Dharma, which in Hindi and Sanskrit translates to eternal order. The joy and the peace in human life is based on observance of this eternal order. In the Hindu approach, an integration of spirit, mind, and body is emphasized for the pursuit of happiness, which in Sanskrit is also called ananda. Festivals play a very important role in Hinduism as they manifest this integration. A festival is a joyful synthesis of an expression of spirituality, religion, philosophy, culture, service, and social values. The spiritual aspect is founded on the human instincts of both joy and happiness. The philosophical aspect is grounded in the struggle between the forces of good and evil, with the ultimate triumph of the former. This struggle and the ensuing victory of good is to be celebrated and used as a reminder to us and for the future generations that selfless service and giving are an interwoven part of all our traditions. Service which is given without consideration of anything in return, at the right place and time, to one that is qualified, with the feeling that it is one's duty, is regarded as a nature of goodness. The book of Bhagavad Gita, which is the Indian Hindu equivalent of the sermon, book of sermon, I should say the Sermon on the Mount in the Bible. In bringing together the people of all Indic traditions, and that's Hindus, Jains, Sikhs, Buddhists, and others, the celebrations of the different aspects of Diwali create an interlocked mosaic. For the Hindus themselves, the festivities of Diwali are celebrated by many stories, many legends. Universally, the celebration, of course, is about the triumph of good over evil. Most of the northern Indian celebrations focus on the homecoming of King Rama, which Menaka referred to in her story. Most of the southern Indian cultures honor this day as the way the other incarnation of God, Lord Krishna, defeated the demon Narakasura. And this was Krishna was accompanied by his wife, Satyabhama, in battle, and together they subdued this king Narakasura and freed thousands of prisoners. In fact, a majority of them were women. In some parts of India, Diwali traditionally marks the beginning of the new year for businesses and the last harvest of the year before winter. So you quite frequently hear Indians say Happy New Year around the time of Diwali. It's because of their tradition and closing their books and opening new accounts with prayers for success and prosperity. Symbolically, it's a new start, forgive and forget, in all aspects of life, including in relationships with family and friends. It is a time for community and family celebration with prayers through puja, worship, of togetherness, of sharing all the resources, including food, clothing, and gifts. Today, Diwali is enjoyed by most Indians regardless of faith, and by people of the dharmic faiths globally. Everyone celebrates it through festive fireworks, lights, flowers, sharing of sweets, and worship, as is customary for each religious and or non-religious group. No house is too big or too small for illumination. Artisans of all faiths, including people from Muslims and Christian traditions, they benefit from the business of making lamps and fireworks and sweets. While the story behind Diwali varies from region to region, the essence is the same. to rejoice in the inner light and understand the underlying reality of things. The spiritual meaning of Diwali is the awareness of the inner light. At the heart, Hindu philosophy emphasizes the presence of that which is pure, infinite, and eternal. Diwali is a celebration of the awakening and awareness of this inner light. Although it's not seen externally, this inner light outshines all darkness, removes all obstacles, and dispels all ignorance. It awakens the individual to one's true nature, not just as a body, but as the unchanging, infinite, and transcendent of reality. With this inner realization comes the universal compassion, love, and the awareness of the oneness of things. The Satchidananda. The Sat stands for truth, Chit stands for consciousness, and Ananda is the inner joy. For Hindus, this is the goal of life. On a more personal level, however, Diwali is a time to turn inward and light the lamps of knowledge and truth in our hearts and minds so that we can dispel the forces of darkness and ignorance within us and allow our innate brilliance and goodness to shine forth. Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, is a principal deity associated with this festival. During Diwali, we ask for her assistance in cultivating and accumulating not just physical but spiritual wealth, such as compassion, forgiveness, and loving kindness. Diwali is a time to reflect on and evaluate our thoughts and words and actions over the past year. It's a time to acknowledge and better understand our prejudices, negative behaviors, and bad habits, so that we may begin the process of transforming ourselves. It's a time to discover how we can be more loving, more kind, respectful, and skillful, not only towards ourselves but others. And since all wealth, be it material or spiritual, should be shared with others who are also less fortunate, Diwali is also a time to reflect on the various ways we can assist others and shine our light into the world. Just as the flame of a lamp always points upward, Diwali is most importantly a time to celebrate and appreciate life and to look forward to the coming year with a renewed sense of purpose and passion. In words of Mahatma Gandhi, Diwali is a reminder and an opportunity to be the change you want to see in the world. Diwali is also a day of remembrance for our ancestors in many parts of the country. And it's a time for family reunions and the building of strong family bonds. Essentially, it's New Year's Day, July 4th, Halloween, Day of the Dead, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all rolled into one. Diwali unifies every religion, every home, every heart, and India transcends into a land of myriad lamps. Here in America, we are continuing this tradition and celebration, making it as a unifying, pluralistic festival, advancing community service. We hope Hindu and Dharmic traditions of Diwali and America's commitment to service will illuminate innovative and empowering resources, both financial and spiritual, and spur the contribution and the distribution and sharing of common values of both pluralism and collaboration. May the spirit of Diwali bring joy, health, wealth, prosperity, peace, and spiritual enlightenment. May it be so.
We extinguish this flame, but not our commitment to welcome radically, love boldly, grow spiritually, and serve courageously. This we do because we envision a beloved community filled with compassion, helping all to thrive in a just world. I would like to invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1031 in the Teal hymnal, Filled with Loving Kindness. We close with the words of Sam Trumbore, Peacemaking Benediction. Every week we gather in this beautiful space to find peace. Each week, words and music offer and celebrate peace with the hope of instilling it in us. Now take the peace you have found here back out into the world with you. Renewed in our faith and inspired to act, let us be the peacemakers the world aches for, and by being peacemakers, let us find the peace we long for. Go in peace, make peace, be at peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's say it together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let there be peace within yourself, peace in the community, and peace in the world. Please sample some sweets in the back as you exit today, but please be aware that the sweets do contain nuts. But please feel free to sample some. Thank you.